welcome back to my channel. This is Detroit AllyCat, and I cannot wait to tell you some of the exciting things that I have going on. So without further ado, let's get spooky. I think I can hear my dog Spooky in the background. So I have the camera up and working, and it's so weird to not look at my computer but to actually look at my camera. So it's kind of crazy because I keep looking down and I keep looking up. I think I'm gonna make the camera go down a little bit so I'm not so confused. I don't know, this is a work in progress, but we are actually up and running. I wish I could show you the setup I have. It's kind of exciting. I've been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time. I hope this comes out good. My last film that I did not turn out so great, so I'm excited to see how this goes. So I really had a very hard time figuring out how I was going to do this video. I had wondered maybe I can do it with doing an unboxing or showing some products, but I just don't think it's very respectful. So I've decided to do 2 films today and do this one on its own, just because I feel like it really deserves its own attention. So the film that I'm going to be doing today is part of my Where Are You series. I don't know if somebody else has that name. I'm just going to call it that for right now. I might change it if somebody else has their own Where Are You series. I don't know why we would fight about that, but people get a little weird. So let's get into the story. This is a missing persons video that we'll be doing today. This video caught my attention right around May 17th. And it was very hard for me because I'm a mom, and this lady actually is a mother too, and she went missing on Mother's Day. And right off the bat, that caught my attention immediately. So I'm going to tell you all about it. This is the story of Suzanne Morphew. She is a 49-year-old mother who lives in Maysville, Colorado. She went missing on May 10th, Mother's Day. I'm going to tell you everything I know, and I might speculate a little bit, but I have noticed a trend with the Suzanne Morphew missing persons conspiracies, that they have completely jumped on the family, and a lot of people are saying a lot of things about Barry, and I have watched his interviews, I've watched the video that he made, and honestly, I just see a man who looks really ragged. I could be wrong. The thing about missing persons is that whenever you have someone who goes missing, the first place that they're going to look is the significant other, if they're old enough to have a significant other. And Barry Morphew is Suzanne Morphew's husband. They seem like a very happy power couple. I believe they've been living in Colorado for about 2 years now. Their home is absolutely gorgeous. It's a $1.5 million home that looks like a gigantic cabin. It's gorgeous, and Colorado is one of the most beautiful states in the United States. They have rapids everywhere, mountains. It's very rural. It's very beautiful. You could just hike and do all kinds of things there. I have looked at Colorado many times wondering if maybe that's the state for me. But as I look at Colorado, I have found so many things there. I'm sure they're in every state, but Colorado is one of those types of states that attract a lot of people, a lot of tourism, due to all the things that they have to do there. Camping, whitewater rafting, and things of that sort. So I found it very interesting to see how many missing persons Colorado has. It's very high, and there are a lot of really horrendous crimes that have happened in Colorado. Lately, Gannon Staunch, which was the little boy that was found in a suitcase, was murdered in Colorado. Chris Watts, the family annihilator, he was in Colorado. And I do believe just recently there was a cult mother, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. They had roots to Colorado. So there's a lot of things going on in Colorado, but it is a very beautiful, beautiful state. So let's begin with what we know and what we have heard. We know on the weekend of May 10th that Macy and Mallory Morphew were gone on a camping trip or a retreat. They don't say very much about that because they have been protecting the kids, which I don't blame them. They were gone on some kind of a vacation in Idaho. So they were not with their mother for Mother's Day. And the story is that Barry Morphew was supposed to be doing firefighting. The story is that Barry Morphew was supposed to be doing firefighting classes or training that weekend. So she was left alone. In the house, they did have a surveillance camera system, a security system, but unfortunately that weekend it wasn't working, which is very, suspicious. Let's just say what it is. It's suspicious. So the surveillance camera was not working that weekend. I do not know how they know that Suzanne took a bike ride that day. However, the girls wanted to call their mother on May 10th and wish her a happy Mother's Day, which most kids would do. And when they couldn't get a hold of her, they called their neighbor and asked her to check in on their mom. The neighbor went and checked in on them and couldn't find her. I don't know how she knew that she went on a bike ride, but she did. I'm thinking what happened was that she probably called the police. At this time, they found, I believe it was like 1.5 miles away from her house, her bike on the side of the road leaning against something with no Suzanne Morphew anywhere in sight. So this is where Suzanne Morphew goes missing. The thing is that Colorado has some very peculiar things about it. Number one, they have mountain lions, and that is just crazy for me to imagine. But they actually have live footage of mountain lions dragging people off to the woods, and I guess there have been mountain lion attacks. It is rare, but it does happen. And typically, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to somebody who is alone, like Suzanne Morphew. However, Suzanne Morphew always rode her bike a lot, and if she was riding on a main road, she was probably going pretty fast. The only way I could see a mountain lion catching her is if she stopped for a second. Also, something about Colorado is that there's a lot of mine shafts in Colorado, which means there could be a way for somebody to fall down in a mine shaft, and there's no way for everybody to go looking in all the different mine shafts to find them. Colorado is big, it's rural, there's a lot of space, there's mountains, it's a lot of areas to get hurt and not found in. And I believe in the area that Suzanne Morphew lived, they had one of the 6th largest rivers right next to them. So if she was to go into the river, it could carry her really fast. I don't know what the current, the rate of the current is, but I hear it's pretty big and it would carry you pretty far, pretty fast. So that's another thing that is very concerning about this case. So that's where we are with all this stuff. Now let's talk about Barry Morphew. It has been the community's duty to drag this poor man through the dirt. Within 7 days of Suzanne going missing, he decided that he was going to make a film and put it out there. And it's basically like, oh, Suzanne, whoever has you, we just want you to know, we want you to come home, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to get you back. And there's a reward out for her. So if you return, no questions answered. I thought that was pretty proactive. And I don't know about you, but if my loved one had been abducted or is missing, I wouldn't really be on my best, like, looking or talking or acting and behavior. He looks ragged, he looks tired, he looks like he hasn't slept. And I just think it's hilarious that all these people are coming out and they're saying that, oh, I can see his non-verbal aggressives, and he's blinking and he's shaking his head no. And, because when Chris Watt's wife went missing, he'd murdered her. And that's a case that I haven't covered. He did a video like this too, but the difference was, I believe the police or the news interviewed him. And you could just tell something was wrong. He looked nervous. He didn't look ragged. He didn't look tired. He didn't look like stressed out. He just looked nervous. Like he was scared something was going to happen. In this picture of Barry, he looks ragged. Like he hasn't been sleeping. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's as cut and dry in this case as you might think. I think it is very concerning that the bike was found. So she did obviously get up and go for a bike ride, but the fact that the bike is sitting there, so something did happen where, like, she was either abducted, an animal attacked her, somebody could have dragged her out to the woods. There has been a lot of human trafficking going on lately, and I'm going to show you pictures, but Suzanne Morphew is a beautiful woman. She is 49 years old, and she looks like she could give girls in their 20s like a run for their money. That's one of the first things I noticed, was how beautiful she was. Her daughters are very beautiful, and their family is, it's like most families would look at them and be like, wow, they have a great life. Barry owns his own landscaping company, and he is a volunteer firefighter, and he said that he's worked very hard to give them a life that he's always wanted. And you can tell by the houses. Before they lived in Colorado, they lived in Indiana, I'm pretty sure. And she was either a substitute teacher or a teacher, but I don't think she's a teacher here in Colorado. Mallory, the older daughter, goes to college here in Colorado. I say here, I'm not in Colorado. I wish I was in Colorado. I love my state, but Colorado is so beautiful. But I believe the younger one, Macy, I think there might be a chance that she graduated this year. I'm not sure. She did have a Instagram page that was open to the public, but as soon as the Suzanne Morphew stuff started coming out, it was immediately like privatized, which I saw some of the stuff that people were putting on her Instagram, and I mean, if you're one of those people, shame on you. Like, what would make you want to, like, harass a 17-year-old girl who just lost her mother? Like, have a little tiny bit of sympathy or empathy or just dignity, as a matter of fact. I just was really sad about that and the things that they were writing. So, a lot of the reason that people think that Barry might be guilty of something is that his boss, the chief of firefighting. I don't think it's called that. It's called something else. The chief over at the firefighting station. I know everyone's going to tear me apart, but you know what I'm talking about. The fire chief. Yeah, that's it. The fire chief said that he was not aware of any training that was happening that weekend because of the fact that it was Mother's Day and COVID-19 has been going on. So that's not to say that there wasn't training. He just did not know about the training. And then after the fire chief had been interviewed about it, then there was talk about a mistress. Now, here's where I stand about this. Just because somebody has a mistress does not mean they're going to murder their wife. It doesn't. And in some families, that's okay. Like, they are very much aware of each other. Sometimes that works out for people. It's not for us to judge. I think that police and investigators should do the digging, and we should just do the looking and try to help and support the family as much as they can. I don't get any impression something's wrong. I don't. And I hope that I don't screw this up and something horrible happens, but I don't feel like Barry is responsible. I mean, there is a 25% chance I could be wrong. I'm not going to say that he isn't because, I mean, it's possible. One of the reasons that everybody thought that Barry might have something to do with it is because of his landscaping company. I believe there was a house nearby that he had laid cement. So when Suzanne went missing, they decided to start pulling the cement up and looking underneath, and they also took control of their family home, and I guess there was some evidence taken out of the home. We don't know what the evidence is. We don't know. They didn't find anything when they lifted up the cement. I'm guessing that this is pretty standard protocol with a missing persons. If I was Barry Morphew and I wanted them to focus on finding her, I would tell the police or investigators, do whatever you have to clear my name so you can work on finding the real person. So I think it's possible that, he let them in there to do that just so he could clear the name. Also, there might be clues as to where she was going. We don't know if she was going somewhere. I really, really doubt that she was trying to leave her kids. But sometimes there are things that happen. Maybe she was meeting somebody and they were supposed to talk about something or do something and it went wrong, So who knows what kind of clues they found in the house, but obviously they did find some evidence. There's pictures all over the internet and it says evidence. I do know that the house was released back to the family, so the family is back in the house. It's been a while. Suzanne's been missing a while, and every day I check to see if Suzanne is been found or there's some new clues, and it kind of it makes me sad because she's closer to my age. I'm younger than her, but I still feel I don't know, I feel like some kind of a bond with her. I just feel bad for their family. Her nephew, Trevor, is put up a Facebook page called Find Suzanne Morphew, and he's done interviews, and you can hear in his voice how hard this is. One of the worst things that I would ever have to face is losing a loved one and not knowing where they went, a missing person. Because you wouldn't know if something happened and you couldn't get over it, and you just would be on the edge the entire time. And she's got 2 very young daughters who very much need her, and then she's got a husband, and it's sad. So anyway, I digress. Let's go back to some of the things that I talked about. So they said that Barry had a mistress, okay? Barry has neither confirmed or not confirmed that he has a mistress. However, the woman that they have decided to attack on Facebook said, "I am not his mistress. I just work for him. Will you guys please leave me alone? I think that if they're stalking some woman and she is not his mistress, even if she is his mistress, like, seriously, guys, let the police do their job. Like, don't cyber stalk somebody. That's not gonna help Suzanne. I just don't think it is. But yeah, so we don't know if he did or didn't, but the woman has come out and said, please leave me alone. So that actually did happen. So the next thing that happened was there's this YouTuber, and his name is Tyson Draper. I've never heard of Tyson Draper before, but I guess he was out there looking around, and he was trying to find Suzanne Morphew. And while he was driving around, Barry Morphew actually ended up pulling up to him. And Barry was like, hey, I need you to turn off this camera equipment, all this stuff. And Tyson was like, oh, yeah, it's totally off. But it wasn't off. And he kept it on, and he's recording him. So I just thought that was really shady. Like, somebody's wife is missing, and they're driving around looking for anything and trying to keep an open visual for them. And this guy is, like, on the down low recording him like he's a criminal. Like, that's, I don't know. And so I guess he was a little surprised that he was a little hostile to him. Okay, so at the very end, he says that, like, Barry was like, you better not have this on or you're gonna get in trouble. And then at the end of the video, Barry leaves and he's like, yeah, man, I think I was just threatened by Barry Morphew. He just doesn't want the video of him all haggard looking, not ready to be videotaped. I don't know. I think it's kind of reasonable not to want to be videotaped. It should be like something that, like, you don't hide. He's not guilty yet. No one's proven anything, and now he's got people running around videotaping him without his permission. I would be a little irritated too. Seriously, that would get old. Every day he wakes up and he goes and he looks for his wife. He doesn't have her, and if you go on Facebook, there's a whole bunch of people that are on there talking, like, saying all these things, and I get it. True crime, speculation. Sometimes that's even how they figure things out, but if I was Barry, I would feel very cornered. And it would suck, because if he is actually innocent, everyone put him through that, and he lost his wife, and he probably feels very, very alone. So that is all I have on Suzanne Morphew. I really hope that they find her, or we get some kind of next thing to happen. I do have a phone number to call if you have any tips. I'm going to leave some pictures of what she looks like. Please, if you have anything you could share and help this family, please go ahead and do so. This is kind of cool because it's my first missing person, so I'll always remember Suzanne Morphew. The phone number, the tip line for Suzanne Morphew is 719-312-7530. Right now, her reward is at $200,000. I think that there was another $10,000 put on top of it. She's very loved and very missed. Her family would really love her back, and I hope that somebody out there who has some kind of information sees this, and that way we can help bring Suzanne Morphew home, because that's where she belongs. So if you enjoyed this video today, please subscribe, leave a comment. That always helps, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the new video camera stuff. Let me know if you could tell a difference. Have a beautiful day. Bye!